Well, good morning and welcome to the Fiscal Oversight Committee for October 14, 2025. The first item that we have on the agenda is the Pennsylvania School District Liquid Asset Fund. We have Chase Byler, who's a Vice President for EMA with us, and he's going to go over the program. Basically, the district is looking to expand its investment options to give us one more place to put our money, and PSDLF is recognized by the Pennsylvania Association of School Business Officials and PSBA. So, Chase, the floor is yours.
Sure, thank you. I appreciate you guys having me out and the opportunity just to say a little bit about who we are, what we do in relations to schools and fiscal management and investment options. So already talked, my name is Chase Byler. I've been doing this specifically just assisting schools with investment solutions for the last little over 19 years, almost 20 now. So just love what we do, help communities, similar to why you guys are doing, why you're all here right now. So I want to give you a little bit about who we are, what we do. I prepared a deck, what you have, but really this is meant to answer questions. And this is a dialogue, right? It's not a lecture. So if you have questions, by all means, just bring them up. I'm going to talk a little bit about PSLAF, some products and services, and just one quick slide on the market where we may be going as well, since it's a fiscal oversight committee. But overall, who is PSLAF? Stands for Pennsylvania School District Liquid Asset Fund, which Chris did a good job. Created in 1982. And really, it was designed by a board. It's a nonprofit. It's a board is operated by, ran by a board, of school business officials as well as school board members, so jointly. Also on that board is the executive director of PASBO, Hannah Barrett, and the executive director of PSBA, Nathan Maines. We're sponsored by both PASBO and PSBA, and those two individuals are on the board helping guide Pennsylvania School District Liquid Asset Fund as a whole. The reason it was created back then was it's really to give an additional option, add to what schools are doing, not take away from. Obviously, we recognize that local banks are an important part of the fabric of local communities, but it's really just there to maybe provide some assistance in whether that's cash flow management, some additional investment opportunities with economies of scale, where we deal with a lot of school districts across the entire state. And we deal directly with a lot of different banks as well to be able to bring different investment opportunities that you may not be seeing locally. So that's really what it's designed for, is to be able to help you. We have a lot of products and services. Doesn't mean they're all right for everybody, right? It's really meant to meet the district where they're at, different size, what the needs are, and so on and so forth. At its high, we're managed a little over $9 billion in assets under management of predominantly schools, and the largest school offering a fund that offers 2 schools in the state. Some of the benefits, rated AAA by S&P. It's the highest rating you can get. There's a lot of bullet points there, but I'll just summarize them. We don't charge for wires, don't charge for ACHs. You can have as many accounts as you like. There's no cost for the accounts as far as on the investment side to be able to open an account or anything like that. State-of-the-art online platform with state-of-the-art security. We deal only with public funds. That's all we do. So last thing we want is anyone's name in the news, including ours. So it's we're constantly updating our security protocols when it comes to that. Our team on page 5. It's a little bigger than this, but I wanted to put in the as far as the investment professionals that are all based in Pennsylvania. We're actually based out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And all you can see there, everyone is fully licensed with FINRA and the SEC. So you can see all the little numbers by our names. That is the investment licenses that we each individually have to be able to make investment recommendations, as well as maybe some guidance relating to those investments. Are there any questions there before I go over products and services and kind of give a little background? That's just a little bit of who we are, a little bit of a background, and our sole who we focus on is schools and local education agencies and municipalities throughout Pennsylvania.
So is that what you mean when you say that you deal only with public funds?
Yes.
That's what you mean?
Yes, so PISLAF, Pennsylvania Schools Liquid Asset Fund in '82 was founded really specifically for schools.
Mhm.
And then with some legislature, which made some of the investment parameters similar for municipalities, we now do municipalities as well, but it's only local governments.
Mhm.
That's all we do, and that's who we focus on. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. I guess one of my questions, and I'm not sure if this is the place where it fits or
Oh,
not,
sure.
is, are there any ties to, say, China or, anti-American places out there where you're
Right.
utilizing their?
Yes, that's a great question. So we deal with a lot of different banks. We have our own credit team, our own bank funding team that all goes out, and they're highly, highly rated and reputable. Any bank that we deal with also has to post collateral or insurance. So anything in those situations, the money is backed or backstopped. Now, to your specific question, one thing that's nice about who we are is, we're governed by a board of elected school board members and school business officials, as well as PSBA. So there are some banks that operate within the confines of the U.S., like let's say Bank of China is one of them. They have a U.S. branch, but we do not deal with them. No. Yeah, given the current political, I should say, banking climate insight, we've elected not to do that. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. Any other questions before I go into a little bit about some of our investment side of things?
Just hope you do a better job than the Peasers.
Well, I can't really speak. We're not on that side of things. We're on operating and bond side, but yeah, I totally understand. So the nice thing about our products and services, as mentioned, is all super safe. I mean, our motto is safety, liquidity, then yield. Yield is important, obviously. Interest earnings provide, additional, affords the district additional opportunities, right, with curriculum or whatever. But that doesn't come before safety or liquidity. This little important item here, it's on Act 10. So in 2016, there was additional legislation passed which allowed some, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but some additional possible investments within schools and public funds. So those would be credit-backed investments. So we can invest in certain commercial paper. It also permitted invest in certain things like negotiable CDs. It is, PSBA put out a legal alert stating that they had some questions with that. So from our side of things, anything school offered at PISLAF, we do not utilize Act 10 securities. We only offer investments that are not credit backed to schools, but which means that there's no collateral insurance behind it. You're just investments based on the credit. We're just offering 440.1 security or investments, which are either collateralized at Federal Home Loan Bank irrevocable letter of credit, which is a government sponsored enterprise, or by treasuries and agencies, which direct backing of the U.S. government. So just as an FYI there. Now, again, some of our products that we have a product suite. Does not mean that it's all right for Palisades, right? But our liquid rate right here shows, this was as of October 2nd. This has changed a little bit. This will adjust with the market. So right now it's around 398. But this is a liquid. You can draw a penny a day every day. There's no minimum balance you have to keep, maximum. And this is the liquid rate, like a money market. So similar probably to your savings rate, maybe at a local bank. AAA rated. Again, no minimum requirements of deposits there. So this changes daily, but fluctuates with market rates. You can see the up and then down on this line graph, and that's due to the Fed. Obviously, we went through massive rate hikes due to trying to catch up to a number of different things with inflation, and now we've experienced 2 rate cuts so far. We'll get into it, expectation of another coming up here soon at the end of October. Additional investment options that we offer. Again, there's a myriad of them. So full flex is that provides weekly liquidity. It's a cross between a collateralized CD as well as a money market. So we can draw on any Tuesday with 1 business day notification. It usually yields a little higher than our max, which is our liquid daily rate, and that's because it has that 1 draw a week minimum, or I should say maximum there. We have traditional collateralized CDs. Again, I talked about the safety and security of those. We offer FDIC insured CDs, which are backed by the FDIC. So it'd be $250,000 per tax ID. That's important, not per account, but per tax ID. And then we also offer U.S. Treasuries and agencies. U.S. Treasuries obviously directly backed by the U.S. government. The only time we have to worry about that is when the government's no longer here, in which case we will all have bigger problems at that moment. So again, these are all under 440.1 of the PA school code, safe and secure, and that's what we deal with. As we get a little bit into the market, you probably are aware of this, but you can see that as in a normal interest rate environment, if you invest further on the yield curve, you should get more in return. Currently, it is the opposite. It's an inverted yield curve a little bit. As you go out further, you'd be locking in a fixed investment of less. And the reason for that is you can see there in this bar chart of a liquid to a 3-month, 6-month, and a 1 year. But the reason for that is these are treasuries. They're a leading indicator. They're pricing in what the market is expected to do. And the expectation is that the market, the Fed, will most likely cut, according to the Fed Fund Futures, which you have the chart back, but most likely cut at the end of October another rate cut of 25 basis points, which is 0.25%, which will drop liquid rates. And then in December, actually, they're pricing in another cut, which would be another 25 basis points, which would drop those liquid rates. So what we do is obviously we're all licensed. We have access to markets via Bloomberg. One of the things that we offer is, hey, what type of liquid rate are you getting? Here's where fixed rates are. We can run a break-even analysis to say this is where rates would have to go to make this fixed investment, even though it's a little less, a positive investment. So kind of give options, and that's all that we're here to do, is present the educated information, present you with the education behind it, to say here's some ideas. I'll go through the next couple quickly, but these are just added things that we do. Bond proceeds management. If the district's ever in the situation where they're doing a borrowing or building or whatever it is, we do offer that fully with obviously investment services, but also the arbitrage rebate calculations that comes along with it. It is required that anything above 15 million of a borrowing does not meet the small issuer exemption, and you would have to have it tracked for ARB rebate, which means IRS puts a cap on how much interest you can earn. Usually it's not really, usually the environment doesn't lend itself that you would hit that cap, but if the rates going higher, our investment rates were higher than borrowing rates there for a little while, over the past year and a half. So this would necessarily, they would need to be tracked. And even if you're not gonna come anywhere near that cap, the IRS can knock on your door and say, prove that you're tracking these. We provide those at no cost if you're doing a borrowing. This last page, this page on 11, is our CF Max program. This is a program that a lot of districts utilize, and it's really at no cost. It's just an added service, and we come in and help aid in making. We have a proprietary tool where we work with the district to get receipts and expenditures and make a intuitive cash flow, intuitive cash flow when money's coming in, going out, which will then allow the district to be able to see, okay, if obviously right now we're in tax season. We have a budget impasse, but we're in tax season. And so can we invest out to a debt service date maybe, and will that make sense rate-wise? And know that then when that debt service is coming up in February or whenever your debt service is, that expenditure is going to be covered. And it allows you to see what that would do if you lock that up and what that does to the cash balance overall. So this would be, this is fully viewable for the district. Again, this is just something that we offer. It's no cost. It's just an added service that we have a proprietary tool that we utilize. You see some of the fancy charts there that kind of come along with it. And also we offer a procurement card, a rebate card, easy to procure in conjunction with PASBO and PSPA there. So that is another option that we help facilitate, and those payments can be made right through their PISLAF account. Which the district actually does have a PISLAF account. So just a few of the additional services that we offer. And this very confusing black chart at the end is what I was referencing to on page 13, which is, that is what the Fed fund futures. So what they think rates are going to do going forward. This changes daily, but it's been pretty consistent here. And on the left side, it says meeting. That's October 29th. That's the next Fed meeting that's upcoming. And they're currently right next to it. You can see it at minus 0.97. There's a 97, 98% chance, the futures, which is where real people are putting real dollars and cents on what they think are going to go. There's a 98% chance they cut 0.25% or 25 basis points, the Fed rate. And then you can see the next meeting would be in December, and it says 1.86. That just means they're pricing in one cut, and then in December, there's an 86% chance that they'll cut another 25. So this changes. It's not guaranteed. You know, we could find oil under the White House and everything would be different, but something like that. But this is where the market is anticipating rates to go, which is why those in fixed investments were a little lower, and it's because it's pricing that in ahead of time. So this is just some of the tools that we have that we utilize, and I mentioned that we can run those break-even analysis, things like that, just to give market insight on what the market's seeing. Here's where liquid rates are, fixed rates are. If you have a really great above market liquid rate, it's like then we take that into consideration too. So I threw a lot at you there. It's really just a broad overview of who we are, what we do. But really when it comes down to it, we really only do public funds, to your point. School districts is 90% of who we serve. I mentioned that we do municipalities as well, but it's schools we're named the Pennsylvania School District with an asset fund with PSBA and PASBO on our board. So it's who we serve, and it's meant to be an addition to what you're doing, not a replacement, if that makes sense. So love to answer any questions, or if you're like me, you'll think of 5 questions after the meeting's over, and that's fine. Contact information is there. Chris also knows how to get a hold of us whenever needed.
Anyone with questions? Scott?
Yep.
I have a question. I have a couple
Sure.
questions for you. You say other funds. What? Yeah, I do. For example, is it mostly bonds that you invest in? How is it that you would manage? What kind of portfolio would you put together for an entity like ourselves?
Sure. So first thing we would do is you talked about bonds. There would be 2 different. So there's operating, obviously, that you're utilizing with your operating budget, as well as if you're doing a borrowing bond. They would be 2 different scopes. So if you're doing a borrowing and you do a bond and it's for, let's say, a construction of a new school, you'll get a draw schedule from the architect. We'd come alongside the district at that time if that's what the district wanted to do. We'd look at that draw schedule and be very conservative, because if the project were to speed up, you would need to make sure you have enough cash on hand. But we would say, hey, here's your draw schedule when you need those funds. Here's some investments that are in the market. Let's talk about if that makes sense. And then we would monitor this for arbitrage rebate. That's on the bond side. You said the bond side. On the operating side, I believe the budget's around $55 billion, somewhere around there. So on the operating side, we would come alongside and chat with the district and talk about, okay, well, what does your current cash position look like? Is it all liquid? Do you have investments? Here's what we're seeing in the market. Are you interested in looking at the cash flow and having us help build out the cash flow, which we're more than happy to do. If not, and you have that all tightened up here and you already have something, that's completely fine. In which case we would look at what's being invested in, obviously taking into consideration the budget impasse that we're in too, and I'm sure there's state aid that is due to the district. And then maybe make some investment recommendations based off of the market. So if you're at a local bank and we would want to know what the liquid rate is, because if it's a well above market liquid rate, it may not make sense to invest 3 months at a 377. Or if it's more in line, then it may make sense to not everything, but say, okay, if rates continue to trickle down like they are anticipating, maybe we put $1 million here for match a payroll, match it, whatever, 500,000 match a payroll, a debt service, just to lock that in, because then you have locked and interest income. You know what those rates are going to be, and that's budgetable. You know, as a board, as a fiscal oversight committee, you know what the interest income is going to be. But it's really a dialogue back and forth. I mean, we can make proactive investment recommendations based on the market. but it has to suit the cash flow of the district and what's going on at the district. And as you know, no district is the same. I mean, you cross over into, Bucks County here. I mean, obviously it's Palisades is different than your neighboring districts, and that's a good thing. So.
You mentioned funds. What kind of other funds could you share with us that you might be using as a vehicle?
Sure. You mean on the investment side of things?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not sure when I mentioned funds, but as far as investment vehicles, it would really be our money market that
Okay.
we have. Then there's fixed opportunities, which would be collateralized CDs, which would be from banks. We have relationships with highly rated banks across the country per PA school code 441 is PA school code, and they would have to pledge if we did an investment, if you recommended an investment and the rate looked good and the district wanted to do it, and it was over $250,000, they would have to pledge collateral. Act 72 which governs permissible collateral in the state of Pennsylvania actually allows a wide variety of collateral backing, including Puerto Rican bonds and things like that. We only use the top aspects. We use Federal Home Loan Bank irrevocable letter of credit, which is basically a contract between the Federal Home Loan Bank and that bank that if anything happened to the bank, you get the money next day, or treasuries, which would obviously be backed by the government. So those are the type of funds that we may invest in of the district's funds. We may recommend collateralized CDs, FDIC insured CDs, or FDIC insured or backed products because then it's backed by the FDIC or the money market from that side. So that's pretty much where we live.
So we're looking at CDs and money markets.
Very plain vanilla.
Basically, that's it.
And treasuries.
And treasurers.
Yeah,
right?
very plain
That's-
vanilla. And that's what the school code.
Single digit returns.
Single digit? Well, it depends on the market, but
Right.
yeah.
At the current market that we're in now.
Yeah, current market we're in now, like that 3 month was a 377,
Okay.
like that on treasury. So we can get sometimes because the banks, because I mentioned that the fund, it says PISLAF, Pennsylvania Schools Liquid Asset Fund, helps manage at its high around $9 billion of really school funds. We do have relationships with banks that toward quarter end, there may be a bank that comes in the market and say, hey, if we have $100 million that we're looking to get in deposits, if we give you, this is to us, give you 5 extra basis points, would you be able to do that in the next week? It's a win-win for the banks a lot of times, and they work with us too, because that's easier for them a lot of times than going out through their individual branches and having to try to get deposits in for they have quotas too as far as deposits. So a lot of times we do have, sometimes banks come in that might be, advantageous rate a little over treasuries, in which case we send an email out. If we have the cash flow on file, we would call it to say, hey, we have an opportunity here that may make sense. But only if it did. If we looked at the cash flow on file and, the term that the bank was looking for doesn't make sense at all with the district cash flow, that wouldn't even pick up the phone, because that's not in the best interest of the district at the time. So there's those opportunities too. I just wanted to make sure you had them all.
Oh, great. Thank you. And I guess my last question, what are your fees? How do you make money?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we mentioned that we're not for profit on PISLAF side. So PISLAF, I already talked with the board a number of times, but they're not a bank. They're not investment professionals. So they actually do an RFP every 3 years for a firm. So when Chris talked about PMA, which is technically who I work for, although all I do is Pennsylvania PISLAF for the last 19 years. They contract out to these investment professionals, so it'll be PMA. And then our bank is actually PNC. So if you were to wire money into PISLAF, it would be a PNC routing number. But then everything is operated on our online portal. You don't have to go into PNC's website or anything like that. It's all PISLAF. So how we make fees, all of those are contracted, which is all disclosed because it's public entities on our website. But as far as wires, things like that, anything that we offer to the district is net of all fees. You wouldn't have to hard charge any fees, or you make an investment and say, well, what's the fee going to be? That's all taken into consideration prior to the offering. So if we ever said, hey, this is that 377 we talked about, that is a true net 377 to you. In our information statement, the max fees that we could take, because there's overhead, we monitor the collateral, we make sure safe keeping, there's custodian costs, everything that goes into the safety of the securities. The max fee that we'd ever be able to do on a fixed investment earn is 25 basis points. But usually doesn't hit that, usually below that. And again, that is taking consideration prior to any quote. So it's not a gotcha or hidden or anything like that. The quote, we quote everything on a net rate.
Not everyone here might know what 25 basis points is. You mind?
Sorry, yes,
Elaborating
I
on that, thank
apologize.
you.
Yeah, so 25 basis points is 1/4%. So 0.25%. Yeah, you bet. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, there's a lot of.
Do we have any other questions from the gallery? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. Again,
Thank you.
my contact information, we're readily available if you have questions later, it's fine.
Thank you, Chase.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
So turn.
Thanks, appreciate it. Take care.
All right, should I keep going?
Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Before you move on, Chris, just
Oh, just to clarify the action, we're asking the board to add the Pennsylvania School District Liquid Asset Fund as an approved depository.
Do we have any other options, any other individuals?
We already have, we have Pliget,
All right.
we
No,
have,
besides someone like, this is an outside entity that, and we know Pliget, we've had them for a while, but do we have any other contenders besides the one that's been brought in here today?
not today.
Not today.
So what are the other sources, though? That was my question, that we do, because we do the local banks.
We do
Right, so
Penn
how many-
Community Bank,
Penn
we do Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust, we do the PA Treasurers Invest.
Okay, so there's 3 other ones that
And
you're
TD.
Yeah.
currently
And
using.
TD Bank.
And TD. Okay, so there's 4 that you're currently using. Okay.
I have a question, Chris. Have you used this entity in
My entire career.
your entire career?
We have used it here in the past too.
You have used it, it goes back a ways, but you have used PISA.
Yeah, I remember. Like a trap. It's getting rusty, but it works sometimes.
You're the best.
All right,
I'm sorry, and the action was, Chris?
to add them as a depository.
Yes. Yes.
Yes?
Yes? Thank you.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Next item is the 2019 bond issue. Just to take a look to see whether it makes sense to defease the debt. You can call the bonds at any time. The call date was a 24 call date. But the interest rates on the 2019 bonds are 3%, 2.125%, and 3%. The interest rate on the bonds is less than what we can earn in the market. It doesn't make sense to call the bonds.
Correct. Yeah, I agree. I have a question for you, Chris, in regards to that. It says, column 9, less state aid. Is that a percentage of what we're borrowing there that we get that aid?
Yes, PlainCon is a percentage of the project. There's an approved, this was an approved PlainCon project at some point.
Okay. Okay,
Have we been getting that?
Yeah.
Yay.
yeah, yes, but, yeah. Yeah, I like that. too.
So we're asking for no action on the 2019 bond issue.
I agree.
So with the interest that we pay and then less state aid, it's not really necessarily a wash, but it's pretty close to that.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Item C is information item. The Act 1 index for the current school year is 3.5%. Item D is a request to use an automated platform for the Act 80 reporting. Act 80 is a report where you have to code where the taxpayer's residence is for earned income tax. 365 school districts use this platform. We would like to automate the process.
Benefits?
Accuracy, speed,
Time saving?
time saving
Okay.
Because we're currently doing it how?
Manually.
manually.
Berkheimer's helping, but they're charging us $900. So this would be right, we would pull the information right from the state and then just load it right to them. And that's the way the state is sort of going. They want, it all to be that way and no manual entries, I guess, too. eliminate, mistakes. So.
And this is just to verify that they're currently in the district.
Correct. And then other districts send us, make sure that, because they say, well, we think this resident is in your district, so then we have to verify that, so it'll be truly automated.
So all those kids that are coming out of Philadelphia or live in Philadelphia that we're paying special education for, we're gonna pick them up and get them out, right?
This isn't child
Yeah.
account. This is,
Yeah.
Darn.
this is taxpayer account.
Yeah.
So is this like a once and done kind of thing then,
That
once
would
it's
be- It would
automated,
be an annual.
annually reviewed?
Software, it's a software
Uh-huh,
that, will be every year.
Annually
We
renewed,
renew.
annually renewed, and I guess reviewed,
Sure.
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
But it picks up, the software is 12 months. I mean, it picks up anybody moving around
Correct,
whenever they move around.
correct.
And where is it pulling the information from? And where have we been pulling the information from?
My understanding is we are now getting it from Berkheimer. And this, we have to pull from the state. So I don't know,
From the state or from the county? And when you
maybe
say
from the
pulling,
county.
and from the
Not the
pool,
county, the state.
not the county, the state. So what is it that they're pulling? No, just.
Residency. Directory information.
It's gotta be coming off the tax forms, right?
That's what I'm thinking, is tax assessor's office, so.
Not real estate or income tax.
It's not pulling from real estate tax,
Not
it's pulling
pulling
from
from,
earned income tax.
right,
And the earned income tax is what seems like that could be the most inaccurate.
yeah,
Okay, so,
Which is what Bergheim is using.
still a little confused, but okay.
So Berkheimer right now, we pay
What's that?
$900 a year,
Correct,
and we'll pay double the amount for an automated,
without their, without their help, so
without their help, so
then we won't
we'll
have to
be
do
paying
anything.
double for what we pay right now. Berkheimer charges us $900, the software is gonna be $1,700, $1,800, whatever.
But it
But it's the same
eliminates-
information?
It eliminates the manual entries that we have to do.
so,
This will,
so that frees you up to.
well, actually Allison does that.
Mhm.
So it automatically populates the system?
I believe she
Is
pulled.
that how that works,
yeah,
Chris?
I
yes,
believe that.
That's a time savings then, right?
yes.
Yeah, she said it takes a really long time to get all this information in.
Right, we're free of Allison to do other things, I take it.
Like,
The accuracy should be,
Allison does facilities and purchasing.
I'm in favor.
and we're not obviously then gonna be paying $900 to Berkheimer
Correct.
for anything. I guess we'll give it a go and see what we think a year from now.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you. The next item is an information item. It's, the BCIU transportation invoice for the 24-25 school year, $343,000. It's roughly double the amount that's in the budget. However, the students being transported are all but one are early intervention. So it's not like we have control over it. So it's just an FYI. I brought you the good news last month that the BCIU carryover was less than budgeted. I'm bringing you the bad news that transportation is more than budgeted.
Can we circle back to this software? They have a contract here, and just make sure we send it out to our solicitor, take a good look at it, and have them sign off on it before we move forward, okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
Al, do you want to take item F?
Sure. So Elkhart Horn, has a,
This is the generator.
proposal for the, for the generator for Harrisburg, Mock Mixon, plus all the other work involved adding lights where we don't have them currently. So this is for bidding, construction, administration services to be added for this project at $35,000, $10,000 for bidding and $25,000 for construction administration. So we've already had it, everything's been designed already by Buckhart Horn. This is for the actual project, bidding and.
And this is just for the emergency generator.
Well,
And the
all-
switches.
plus all the additional, electrical work that needs to be.
The
done.
upgrading.
Upgrading.
Upgrading needs to go with
Yes.
it. Okay.
Yes. It's adding, more receptacle that places on the emergency generator, as well as, lighting in the bathrooms, which we currently don't have, for emergency lights in the bathrooms, gang bathrooms. And then getting our water system, pumps hooked up to the generator, so we can actually operate the building.
Life support systems.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this is for Durham Knox, this building, correct?
Yes, correct.
Does it include the office?
One more time.
Does it include the office?
Yes.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, there's
well, the
also-
servers are already taken, the computer stuff, the IT stuff is already taken
Yeah,
care of.
that's a server room, that's a separate generator, which we did a year or so ago, 2 years ago.
Okay.
And did we like get a quote from anybody else as far as what they would charge?
So this is the company we went out to bid for, to design this project.
Okay,
So this is for the, bidding and the construction administration work.
And this came up with a 40 kW, 50 kW? How big?
I don't have it in front of me right now. I think it's a little bigger than that.
Okay.
Questions?
Well, I guess based on what Scott just said, so if I'm understanding how you're saying that, Al, when this company was approved to do the design and so forth, this is the next step that was with it.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is the actual project, the bidding and the administration,
and is this,
oversight of the project.
and I'm sorry that I don't remember the details of that, so is this in line with what they had said it would be at that time? Because I would assume that this would have been part of an overall bid if we were gonna use them for every aspect.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
To be honest with you, I was out,
Okay,
John Lee when this
Gotcha.
basically took place, so I really don't have an answer for you,
all
Scott.
right, no, that's completely fair. No, okay.
Ask the question again.
Well, so from what Al said, this was out to bid, or we at least, inquired with different
It
companies?
was, because when we went, in the spring, we had a presentation from, who was the other group that initially presented it? And then we went out to bid,
Yeah.
Snyder Hoffman.
Yes,
So Snyder Hoffman was at that meeting, and then there was the request from the committee to go out to bid for it. So then we went out to bid, and this is the lowest responsible bidder. So that's where the process is right now.
So I guess my thing was, I'm just trying to remember, or maybe I'm beyond that, be told. What then were they bidding on, and does this number, sort of comply? Because if they were bidding on doing these phases of the project, I would think that they would have given us either an overall cost for all of the phases, or like it should be about this, this, and this, and that's how we chose them.
I'd have to look back at the bid sheets. I think there were two that
I'm pretty sure that-
bidders.
I'm pretty sure it was just for the design, see what the needs were. And, get the right size generator as well as the additional, lighting and receptacles and things like that. Okay, to get everything, like I said, to get everything.
So this was not part of it.
This was not part of
This
this.
is not part of it. Okay.
But
Well, you
I don't know
have,
if I'm remembering correctly, but I thought their quote was rates for different services, different parts of the service, for this engineer or the president, different scale. And their rates, if I assume, were lower than the other companies.
Yes.
So as long as they do the same amount of work, they're the lowest.
What's the board's pleasure?
I think we need to get it done.
We need bidding and construction services, yes.
Scott?
I mean, it seems like we don't have an option right now. My only question is that the next time we go to do this, to me, this should be included in the initial bid to make the decision to go forward with this company for all phases.
Yeah, and I think, Chris and I were talking about this before as far as our next buildings and grounds, to talk about what approach the board wants to take for construction projects, because we move forward with an understanding that then whether it changes or we have a different approach to how we're gonna complete a project, it would be very helpful if we sort of clarified what that will look like moving forward. So whether it's like a architect or engineer of record that we go out for a bid for, or once, we bid out the whole project, whatever is the board's pleasure on how we proceed, we need clarity on what that looks like.
right,
It would
and
be amazing.
I guess the question is, we need to ask more specific questions of these individuals when they come in, as opposed to what we're getting now.
In some cases, sure. And I think it depends on how you want to
If you go with an engineer of
proceed.
record,
Correct.
that's who you use.
And you can bid that out for 3 years, doing an engineer of record or architect of record for 3 years. And then you put in that spec, what it is that we haven't done that, but other districts do. Or with each project, if it goes below if it's below $15,000, $20,000 anticipated project, whatever it is, if the board sets that direction, then we're clear. And then we don't have, questions that come up midstream. Questions can come up midstream, but not as far as like who we're using as the architectural or engineering firm. So look forward to that at our next buildings and grounds, would be amazing.
Okay.
All right, next,
Next,
we're okay with that.
Move forward.
Al, you wanna take item G?
Okay, sure.
Lucky
So
you.
wastewater treatment plant update. So I got, from Cowan, I got the, summary of steps that went through. I don't know if you saw it. Does anybody, or do you have it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
You were going back to July 24th to 24,
Correct.
moving forward, right?
Yes, moving forward, where, I guess the question that came up was where finding out the information, stuff like that.
Yeah, on
For the generator.
9/24, you had the engineer who did the preliminary site visit, which I thought it was 25. I was like, oh, that was recently. Then I noticed it was 24, so over a year ago.
Yeah.
That engineer had come up, but then you keep on going down there and you see where you don't hear anything from that engineer until the next year, well, spring of next year. 4/23. Which I just find that interesting. Greater than 7 months later, 8 months later,
Yes.
that engineer comes back and says, existing generator is 40 kW and it's too small.
I think during that time, they were trying to get the information on exactly what
Equipment,
equipment was going in there, whether, the big thing with this package plant is the motors. And they were trying to find out that were all on the DFDs. so you know what size load you would need for the generator. And that also is the wet banking, which I don't understand, but it's some with,
Well, when you figure it out, tell me.
okay.
And I apologize that I was away during the building and grounds. I don't know if you could hear me clearly with some of the questions I was asking the gentleman that I was conferencing. But on 5:30, electrical engineer with Med Ed provide a 12208 volt 3-phase. Now, right then and there, we know we need an upgrade. And he backs up on 423 that says our generator's too small. But we didn't start finding out anything until September? August? Was it August timeframe,
Yeah, there was
September?
a lot of back and forth trying to get the information that was.
Right. Right. So what's the proposal on the new generator there, Al? The scaled down
There's
size
another
one.
Page.
Scale down, now we know everything's operated off of VFD. You don't need, the size that they originally had, the 150, was it 150? And now it's a
100.
100 KW.
Which doesn't change the cost too much, but some.
Yes, and again, these aren't solid numbers, so it's going out to bid, the project's going out to bid Friday.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're gonna have a walkthrough on election day, so that, all the contractors can, look at the project. And then I think December 3rd is bids are due.
So I guess one of the questions we have here, we lose 50 KW for $15,000 savings, right? The panel board, including installation, is 25,000. Did they have that when they came to us the last time?
Yes.
So they had that price in
Yeah,
there.
they had it upgraded to a 600 amp. I was included in that.
Right. And then the load bank, is that based on the smaller generator?
Yes.
Okay.
They wouldn't need as much banking, my understanding. With banking.
And just for the rest of us in here, what do we mean by banking?
I wish I knew. Wet banking, it has something to do with, something I believe that the tech school had problems with, that the generators wouldn't, they basically shut down once they reached like 80%. And I guess the bank holds that, for sudden startups. And
Was it capacitors?
I believe that's what it is, like a capacitor start or a capacitor holdings.
I think the problem at the tech school, if I'm not mistaken, Jim, was that it wasn't getting enough fuel. When it hit a certain mark, it started shutting down.
There was a lot of issues over there,
Yeah.
but nobody knew what was going on.
Right. Okay.
Especially the engineers didn't know.
Oh, God. That's always fun. Questions, anyone? Scott? Karen? Linda?
And we're looking at a diesel generator, I'm sure.
Speaking of which, that generator would be self-contained diesel, is a separate tank that we need to get for that would power it. Power that
It's a
unit.
belly tank.
A belly tank underneath the actual generator itself? Okay.
That's currently what we've been going with, like we had one at the warehouse.
Sure.
The one down to treatment plant,
Okay,
but yeah, it's the best.
yeah,
You're gonna
yeah,
have to have a separate tank.
right, no, it's right there with the unit. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chris.
All right, item 4H is an annual item. There's a state required annual homestead farmstead mailing. The Bucks County Intermediate Unit annually coordinates this for all school districts in the county. The price is $1.078 per parcel.
And these go out to every parcel,
Every day, everybody.
whether they're
Thank you,
signed up ready or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the law.
That's the law.
Okay.
So this sounds like it's more informational than anything, and
Well,
do we really, can we
we could-
say no?
We
That
could go
just
out and do it
doesn't
on
make
our
sense.
own.
Oh, okay, okay.
That would not be very efficient.
I didn't say it, I said.
We good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, item 5A. Colleen, do you want to take 5A and 5B?
Sure. This is, the, financial reports for, actually September's, but they're dated October, but yep, they're September reports. Any questions?
Oh. Linda says move on. I agree.
Okay.
Um,
Next, 5B is, budget transfers. These,
Pretty self-explanatory for the dates.
Sure.
Just out of curiosity, I'm looking here at September and it says, I guess that's a global compliance network, right? Not enough funds available and ready to learn grant. Right, 9/17/25.
yes,
Right,
ready available. They must have budgeted them into the Ready to Learn grant and, now we have to move them.
what is the global compliance network?
That would be training, required training for our staff.
And then the other one, below that, EBSCO? What is that?
I'm not looking, I'm sorry, I'm taking minutes.
EBSCO, EBSCO, there's not enough
Ah.
funds in there, we had to transfer $5,440.
I feel like that's a database as far as, I'm not sure if it's library, I think that's Destiny, EBSCO, but it's a research database. And I can get more information for you, but that's what's on my
I'm just
mind.
curious what
Okay.
that is, thank you so much.
Sure,
And these are all within each of the accounts, right?
correct.
Cover the purchase ceramics, I miss those days.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Item 7A, the charter school report. Colleen, you want to take that one too?
Sure. This is,
Looks good.
self-explanatory. I mean, it's, we do this every month to, looks like we, gained or lost a couple and gained one. Or no, looks like we went down in both. One in brick and mortar and one in cyber. So,
And this, the numbers on the bottom of the page, the budget and the surplus, that's not an annual number.
yeah, that's the trend. That's for that month. That's where we are compared to the overall budget.
Okay.
Item 7B is the right to know law. Not a whole lot of activity. Item 7C is the economic report. It's important to note the state received less revenue in September of 25 than it did in September of 24. That's a really bad trend.
Right. Less people drinking, less people gaming.
Well, gaming revenue's not showing up in here, is it?
Moving out.
Moving out, yeah.
And that brings us to public comment.
Anyone? For the good of the cause? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Are we done?
Good job.